Hello, my name is Martina and I am the owner of Cassia Flowers here in Tremor, County Waterford. And this evening we're going to show you how to make a Christmas table centrepiece for your home or to give as a gift to somebody else. So I hope you enjoy it. So sit back and relax, or you can gather everything that's needed, pause this and do it along with me. Okay, so what you're going to need, we have a nice red ceramic pot filled already with some floral foam, some nice seasonal foliage, and this is a black pittosporum. It's just beautiful in the Christmas arrangements, with the wild berried ivy. We need a glue gun, some wired ribbon, some decoration of your choice. We use lots of pine cones, we use lots of baubles. You're going to need a flower scissors, some floral tape and floral wires, a nice candle, colour of your choice, and some seasonal twigs. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to wire on our candle. And I showed you what you needed earlier. So we needed some wires. So if you just cut your wire in two, like so. You can buy candle holders, but this is the DIY way to do it. And it's very secure. And then you're going to put your wire halfway up, bring your tape around the end of the candle. A second wire goes in the other side, and you bring the tape around the two pieces of wire. Then cut your tape again. Tape it down. And then what you're going to do is you're going to catch your wire and bring it down so that you've got two legs on either side, like so. And then we're just going to push it into our oasis. And the floral foam that we have in this pot is nice and secure, and it's not going anywhere. Okay, so after we've secured our candle into our pot, we're going to start greening up, as we call it. So with your nice Christmas tree, clippings off your Christmas tree, you're going to base around the end of the floral foam. So when you're putting in your Christmas tree, it's best, I often use the knife, but I'm well used to the knife, so believe me, I have cut myself several times, but I'm so used to it now. So you're going to strip a little bit of the bark from the tree, and when you're inserting your pieces of greenery, just think of the shape that you'd like. Everyone is different. As I always say to students every Christmas is, I can show you the techniques, but I can't show you the design. So the design is all yours. So what I like to do is I like to base out the edges. What we say is we cover our mechanics. So you're going to cover all your mechanics. You're going to cover all that floral foam because we don't want to see it. I'm going to turn this as we go so that you can see it. And we're going to just go all the way around the base of the floral foam. You're going to be putting lots of foliage into this. And one little tip with floral foam, if you put something in, leave it in, because the more holes you have in the oasis, in the floral foam, it's not great. So if you put it in, think of where you're going to put it, leave it there. You're best to just leave it rather than start taking it out, and as well as that, then your foam will also, it could end up breaking up on you. More so if it's a little bit older. The fresher the foam, the better it is. They'll tell you there's a sell by date on the box of foam if you buy it, so you should really use it within 6 months or thereabouts. So I'm just going to put little pieces. I've put it all around the base, so I'm just going to put some little pieces up through it, just like that. And then you can see it there then, that it's given us our little shape. So it's coming out a little bit longer at each side. This is going to be our front, and then we're going to fill in the rest then with some of the other Christmas foliage, some of the pittosporum and some of the berried ivy. Okay, so you're going to see at the minute there's lots of holes, so we're going to fill those in. And this, I'm sure a lot of you will recognise it, grows everywhere. I call it berried ivy. I'm sure there's a technical name on it, but that's what I call it. And this is absolutely beautiful in the Christmas arrangements. The leaves, beautiful green leaves. You'll see it sometimes, the berries that I have are lovely green berries, but you'll see it sometimes they're gone black, they're more ripe and they're gone black. And what you can also do with this is you can spray the berries gold, so it gives you added decoration very cheaply. I wouldn't even say very cheaply, I would say for totally free. So we're just going to fill out some of the holes that we have, and you'll see then it starting to take shape. So you can cut the berries from the top, because you'll always have a little stem on the berries, just like that, little stem, and you can put them in higher. And all the foliage that we use in these, like I'm making this today is the 15th of December, and this candle arrangement, if it's looked after, it will last well over Christmas. So you'll have this for your Christmas table, and if you really look after it, you'll have it for your New Year's Day Christmas dinner table as well. And as I say, all this foliage grows free of charge. We buy a lot of it in for the simple reason we just don't have time to go around to collect it, but we do buy a lot of it in. But if I was making this for myself at home, I wouldn't dream of buying anything for it. I would just go foraging. And I have lots of friends who have lovely gardens, and I go and I trim the garden for them, and sometimes they don't even know that I've been there. So that's the buried ivy gone in, and as you'll see, it's really starting to take shape. And the buried ivy is lovely. I'm going to keep going, and now I'm going to add some of the black pittosporum. So it's a different texture, it's a different colour, and you'll see how it really and truly lifts the whole piece. And this is great. And as I say, all these foliages are great lasters. They last for ages. Now you still must look after it. Give it a little drink every now and again. Don't make the mistake of putting it on top of a radiator, because it will dry out on you if you put it in too close to a radiator, or if you put it on. Lots of people now are doing up their mantelpiece, and you just have, it's very easy to do the mantelpiece. You just have to be very careful that you keep it well watered. And what's a really good tip is if you have you know those spray bottles, if you have a spray bottle and you give it a spray every now and again, because the water, you can water into the floral foam, but the spray bottle will get right to the leaves, and it'll keep it moist for you all over Christmas, and it'll keep it fresh. So there we've used 3 different types of foliage, and that's all we're going to use with the foliage. And then I'm going to show you the next step, which is to decorate. So now the fun part. We're going to decorate. And as I was saying to you about the buried ivy, this is some that I sprayed earlier. As you can see, it's still the same buried ivy, but I've sprayed it gold. And this is what they call a 24 karat gold spray. It's made by Oasis. It's one of the best around. And trust me, I've bought lots of sprays over the years, and I've thrown out lots of sprays over the years. And that just goes in the very same as all the rest of the ivies. And you just push that into your Oasis wherever you want to see a little dash of gold. And it just goes in just like that. And as you can see already, it's picking up the colours. It's giving it a little bit of glitter, a little bit of gold Christmas colour. And again, totally free except for your spray, which is not that expensive. Okay, so as I said earlier, we use a lot of pine cones. And you can't just, pine cone doesn't come in a stem, so you can't stick it in. So you need to wire it. So I'm going to show you how to wire a pine cone. So you have your wire. Okay, it's probably an 18, 19, about an 18 gauge wire. And what you do is you wrap it around the end of your pine cone, just like so. You can see it there like that. And you bring it around, and then you just twist. And it gives you a stem on your pine cone, and that way then you can push it into your oasis, wherever you want it, and it's going to stay, just like that. So you can put in as many as you want. Again, as I keep saying to all my students every year, I can show you the techniques, but I cannot show you your design. Everyone has a different design, and what I think is beautiful, you might think is awful, and vice versa. So I always say to the students, you do whatever you like. It's your design, you design it, and then when you go home you're looking at it going, yeah, do you know what, I really do like that. So these are just baubles that I've wired, or I've put little sticks in, the little barbecue skewers in, and just glue them in. That's why you need your glue gun. So again, you just push them into your floral foam, and it just gives it a little bit of glitter and a bit of gloss for Christmas. And it really is very easy to do. These little pieces, you'd often see these in all the shops. All the florists have them, and the DIY stores have them. We won't name names, but they come in a piece like that. So as you can see, you've got 1, 2, 3 sets of berries. So they're probably around €2.50, €3. So I'm not going to push it all in together because I want to divide it up. And the way they make these is they're wrapped with paper. It's like a stem tape, we call it here, and it dries out. So now you've got 1, 2, 3 pieces of berry. So you can spread that out then around your arrangement, and it gives another little element to it. And I'll just take this one off the larger piece, if I can get it off that. So now for €2.50 or €3, whatever it is, you've got 3 different pieces in there. We also have a little bit of dried orange. These oranges are dehydrated, basically. So if you're lucky enough to have a dehydrator, I think that's what you call it anyway, you can do those yourself. I did them one year and put them into the oven, and they took hours and hours and hours in the oven. But we actually buy all these in. So we buy them in, and someone else has done the hard work for us. And again, they just give another little element. We're going to put our little Merry Christmas in on one side, and we're going to put our snowman in on the other side. And the last thing I have to show you is how to make a nice Christmas bow. And all of our students every year, there's always 1 or 2 who'll say, please will you make a bow for me. And I try and teach them before the end of the class that they can make it themselves very easy. So that's the next thing I'm going to show you, how to make a bow. Okay, to make a nice Christmas bow, very easy, very simple. Simple if you know how. So you have your piece of wired ribbon. Okay, it's wired at each edge, so you'll be able to fluff it out when you're putting it into your arrangement. So I'm going to do it backwards. So what you do is, you have your shirt collar, just like this. You catch it here in the middle. You bring the back over the front, and you pinch it in the middle, just like so. And then you have your wire. So you have your wire, and you catch it, and you're going to grab your ribbon in the middle and just twist your wire. And now you've got your lovely ribbon, and you're just going to cut your tails into the end, just like this. And now you've got a perfect bow with your tails in the end. And all you do then is you just push that into your arrangement wherever you want it. And then, because, as I say, the ribbon is wired, you can fluff it around just like so. The final thing we're going to do with this arrangement is we're going to put some these are dried twigs, and they're sprayed with these ones have a snow spray on them. One thing that you have to be very careful with candle arrangements is, number one, you never leave them unattended, and number two, be careful what items that you do put in. If they're highly flammable, well then it's probably best to leave them out. And you just try and keep everything away from the flame. This is a shorter candle. It's a pillar candle. We do them as well with the taller, with the dinner candles. But just make sure you don't have anything near the flame, that it's not going to burn down and the next thing your whole candle arrangement is on fire. And believe me, it has happened to me before. And when you're trying to impress people for dinner, it's not very good. But you just be very careful, and you never leave them unattended. Never leave the room when the candle is lighting. And again, this is just giving it another little element. And there you have it. And that's your Christmas candle arrangement, all ready for your Christmas dinner table, to impress your friends or to give your friends for their Christmas gift. Give your friends and your family, and I'm sure they'll be delighted with it. And I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration. I've never done this before on camera. I've often done it in front of lots of people before, but never in front of a camera. And with the times that are in it, it had to be done in front of the camera. So I've enjoyed it, and I hope you did. Thank you very much, and good evening.